Okay, we're gonna keep it cordial because I know this video is long overdue. I did film like a 3 to 4 month update for you guys, but being in school and trying to edit is hard. So here we are during winter break when I can film a 6-month update now and spill all the tea. This has been a long time coming, so wow. 6 months post-op. For those of you who watched my double jaw surgery vlog, I got a lot of questions there and in my DMs and everything, and I just wanted to address some things. And now that I feel like I'm at a good point where I'm healed and can kind of give you the ups and downs of how surgery and recovery went, here's my update that has been long awaited. So I want to start by saying all of this is coming from my viewpoint as a patient, not as a doctor. I'm not a doctor, not yet, but just know that if you are getting ready to go through this process, you should not rely on videos and your own research alone. Ask your questions to your doctor, make sure that you feel comfortable with the whole process and that they explain anything you need explained to you. I got some questions asking if this was like a minimally invasive surgery. I guess if you want to classify minimally invasive by the recovery, it is outpatient surgery, but this surgery itself is not minor whatsoever. I went through double jaw surgery where I had both jaws broken, bone cut out on my bottom jaw, and then my top jaw extended. I now have 3 screws on each side of my lower jaw and then 4 hinges going across the top jaw and under my nose to hold everything in place and kind of keep it all there, I guess. But yeah, this surgery is not minor, far from it. The recovery is about 10 weeks. It took me, I want to say, 12 weeks before I felt like I could open my jaw wide enough to kind of resemble my before feeling. But recovery is long, but it is nothing you cannot get through, and it's a process. So just make sure you have a good support system around you and that you're taking care of yourself and giving yourself some time and patience and grace, because it's nothing easy. So I got a question asking how long from my first appointment to surgery date. My whole process took about 2 years. So they want you to be done growing before you can go through the process, because if you do surgery and then you start growing again, your jaw has a greater chance of relapsing or moving something out of place. So I started meeting with my surgeon when I was around 17. Then we did the surgery the summer of me being 19, so last summer. I got my braces on at 17 too. So I got my braces on during that time that we were kind of waiting and taking measurements and making sure my jaw wasn't growing anymore. But you're gonna meet with an orthodontist and then your orthodontic surgeon. And the orthodontist is gonna kind of make sure that your teeth are in place for surgery. They're gonna place some hooks in your mouth when you get close, about a week out from surgery, and just making sure that everything is aligned and ready to go for the surgeon. So now let's talk about steps to surgery. I had to get my wisdom teeth removed to make space in my mouth for everything that was gonna happen. Like I was saying, you go through a series of measurements. So I wanna say I got measured every 4 or so months to make sure there was no growth. And we took like pictures and all kinds of stuff to see like before and after, again with that measuring. And then you'll have some pre-op appointments the closer you get to surgery, maybe like to draw your blood, getting ready for the actual procedure itself. So let's talk about my feeling update. So when you wake up from surgery, you're gonna be numb, everyth's numb, and your feeling slowly starts to come back, but it can take up to 2 years before all of your feeling comes back. I'm 6 months post-op, and I still can't really feel my chin or my bottom lip. It feels kind of tingly, like if your hand or your foot was asleep. That's kind of how it feels. I can feel it a lot more than I could 4-5 months ago. But it's still a little numb, you know? Like, it just feels like it's asleep. I got my braces off like 2 weeks ago, so here's the full smile. Compared, I'll try and find, I know I put some before and after pictures on my thumbnail of my double jaw surgery vlog, but if I have, I'll put them here. I don't know if I have a good before picture. All I have is what the orthodontist gave me, and I don't know if it's a really like great picture, but I'll see what I can do. But yeah, my feeling in the beginning, my nose and half of my upper lip was also numb, and my bottom lip and chin are still the same way. The reason that this numbness happens is because a lot of trauma is happening to the nerves that control the feeling in those areas, and the nerves are located right in the working space of the surgeon. So be mindful that there is a risk with the surgery that you might not get your feeling back, or you might have permanent numbness and tingling kind of. But honestly, it's become kind of just part of my everyday, and that's what they tell you. It doesn't affect you cosmetically, it's really just feeling wise. And I in the beginning, I was like biting my lip, and I had to be mindful of how I was chewing, because you're also relearning how to eat and talk and move with this new jaw that you have. So just be careful not to bite your lip, but be patient, because it's a process. I want to talk about swelling, recovery, pain management. So my face if you watched the vlog, you saw how big my face was that whole first week. But ice and heat are your best friends. So I got this ice pack they were what you call like a jaw bra, and it wraps around your head. And my packs, they doubled as ice and heat, so I could freeze them or put them in the microwave to heat them up. When I was in pain and I wanted to bring my swelling down, I was icing all day, like switching off. I think they say 15 minutes on, 15 off, 20 on, 20 off, something like that. But I was icing constantly, and then as my nerves were waking up, that's when ice wasn't helping so much, and I found that heat was really helpful. And you can tell the difference between like this achiness kind of pain from surgery where you need ice, and then your nerves starting to wake up. It almost feels like your mouth is cold, and it's just like it's a different kind of sensation. So heat is what helped me with the nerve pain. Also, stay on top of your meds. Your meds are so important. Stay on top of it. Like, please stay on top of it, because you don't want your pain to get out of control. So you're gonna feel groggy and not very energetic for the first couple weeks. But make sure you're staying on top of your meds. Also, you wanna make sure you're keeping your mouth clean as best as you can. I was wired shut or rubber banded shut for the first 5 days after surgery. So during this time, you can't brush your teeth, but you are able to swish with, what did I do? Why don't I remember? I want to say I was swishing with Paradex while my mouth was shut, but I cannot remember if I was doing that while it was still shut or after the rubber bands were taken off. But I'm pretty sure I was doing it while it was shut too, because you're still eating, you're eating through a syringe, everything is liquid. But I want to say I was swishing with Paradex. Don't quote me, but you just want to try and keep your mouth clean and hydrated, and drink a lot of fluids. Hydration is what's going to help you heal, making sure your body has enough water, and you want to intake your protein and everything that you need in your body through these liquids during this time. Nutrition helps you heal, so I know you're not gonna feel great and you might not wanna keep pushing that syringe full of food in your mouth, but drink a protein shake, drink a smoothie, drink some water, soups, stuff like that. And it helps you like just feel more like yourself. So also another tip that I found after surgery, so you have a lot of stuff, it's just a lot of trauma to the face. And during surgery, I had like tubes up my nose, and afterwards, I just had so much mucus. It was so hard to breathe at night. It just was not ideal. So cold 7-Up and Sprite helped kind of break that up for me. And I was able to either spit it out or, you know, it was just broke up and I could swallow if my mouth was still shut. But that was a very hard, like, issue during that time. I'm glad I'm out of the trenches. I'm very glad. So next I want to talk about some risks of infection. So your greatest risks are during your first 2 weeks post-op, and you really want to keep your mouth clean. If you're a smoker, I wouldn't advise smoking. If you really have to be on top of your hygiene during this time. I mean, I hope you guys are all the time, but you really want to be on top of it during this time. But you can get an infection later, because it did happen to me. So everything in my mouth was closed, everything was fine. I was on a great path, and right before, literally 2 days before I was leaving for school, I got an infection, and I was like 7 weeks post-op. So they ended up having to open my incision back up, kind of. Well, I won't say that, but they had to make an incision and put a drain in for the infection to come out. I was taking antibiotics, and it was not a fun time. Like, it was a lot of pain and whatnot, but all I have to say is advocate for yourself. You know how your body is. You are the sole owner of your body. You know how it works. You know when something's wrong. So if something doesn't feel right, please reach out to your doctor. Call your doctor, let them know what's going on, and never feel like you're a burden or a hassle on the doctor. They are there to help, and even if they may not seem like the most personable person, just make sure you're advocating for yourself, because an infection is not fun. It's not at all. Also, another complication I've been having as of lately, so on my bottom right, I can feel kind of this bump on this side that's not here on this side. And I actually went, yesterday to my surgeon, because I forgot to mention it at my last follow-up. So I went yesterday. Turns out it is a screw that is just not sitting right with me. So I have some options here, and you would too if you went through the same, if you're going through the same thing, if you went through the same thing, if you will go through the same thing. They can either remove the screws. Once you're healed, the screws are kind of just there along for the ride. While they do hold everything in place at the beginning, once your bone is fused back together, once it's healed, the screws can come out, and some surgeons will decide to go back in and take those screws out. But mine said if it keeps bothering me, we can take the screws out. If I can handle it, we can leave the screws in. It's really up to me. I think eventually I will opt to have this side removed, just because, I mean, it's not a great feeling. It doesn't feel like a lot of pain per se. It kind of feels like a toothache. It's just kind of naggy, and it's like, and it hurts when, it hurts to the touch, or if I open my mouth too wide while it's irritated. So it's just something that can happen. It may happen, it may not, but it is a risk that comes with the surgery. So I've also gotten some questions about the cost of the surgery. The cost of the surgery is well over 6 figures. When I got my hospital bill, well, insurance for one, make sure you are working within a network where your insurance covers this surgery, because we definitely would not have been paying $100,000 for the surgery, but it is quite pricey. So insurance do not, I mean, if you got it like that and you can pay for it out of pocket, hey, but definitely insurance is the way to go, because I don't know who has 6 figures just laying around. I also got some questions asking if your screws stay in place. I kind of answered that already. Your screws are there for along the ride. They usually do stay in place, but if an issue arises where you have to get them removed, they can take them out. If the surgeon works where they do take them out, they may take them out. There's also different types of double jaw surgery. Some people may need cheek and chin implants, or one or the other, just to make your face look more symmetrical. I did not have to go through that and get those implants, but I do know some people who do have to get them. And I feel like they're happy with the results, but I believe there are some complications with implants at times, and you may have to get them removed and replaced every 10, 15 years, something like that. Again, don't quote me. I'm not speaking from a doctor's standpoint, only from what I've heard word of mouth. But so do that research. Don't let what I'm saying freak you out. It's just what I've heard through the grapevine. So I hope this 6-month update helped answer any questions that you guys may have had. Yeah. I will be in the comments of this video, my other double jaw surgery video. If you have any more questions, please feel free to leave them for me and I will answer to the best of my ability. But I hope if you're going through double jaw surgery, if you're preparing to, good luck. I wish you nothing but the best and you can get through it. Just know that first week is the hardest, but it's all uphill from there, okay? All right, well, here's the smile one last time. Straight teeth, touching teeth, lined up, side profile for one time. I will catch you in the next one. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and I will see you later. Bye.